Should burning the American flag be illegal? You cannot be a free speech absolutist if you want burning the American flag to be illegal. Listen, I get it. I hate to see people burn the American flag. I have so much family in the military and family that are veterans. There's nothing more that pisses me off to see somebody burning the American flag. But at the same time, it's like that's their right to do it. You can't make things illegal just because it hurts people's feelings. Then it's a slippery slope. What else are we going to make illegal? Or like you literally can walk around with the Nazi flag if you want it. And that's not legal. Are we going to make that illegal too? So you cannot just say, the reason why this bothers me so much is because, when I first started getting into politics, I was maybe in middle school or high school. And that was basically like the epitome, like the staple point, the foundation of freedom of speech. We always talked about burning the American flag. And it shows the education systems. Like, I'm not saying I grew up in like a really, really smart school, but it amazed me how many people were like, I thought that was already illegal. I'm like, what the fuck did they teach you in school? Because in my school, like, this was the epitome of free speech. This is how we knew America was a free country. This was the best example of how America has free speech and how America is a free country. Because we had the right to burn an American flag. That was always like the epitome of freedom of speech. Like the worst thing you can do as far as speech goes. Like in a country, and we're allowed to do it. So if you take that away, we don't have that anymore. We don't have that example that you can burn our flags. Pretty soon, I'm telling you, it's going to be a slippery slope, and it's going to end up like a bunch of other countries. Pretty soon, you guys have to be really careful on what you wish for. And this is why I had a person on Facebook that said, I thought you were fighting for the conservative cause. No, my job was never to defend Trump. It was never to defend the conservative cause, because I don't believe in that. My job as a patriot is to defend the Constitution. And that's what everybody that calls themselves a patriot should do. So if you're running around saying burning the American flag should be illegal, that's really not patriotic. And it goes completely against the Constitution. Because you cannot say free speech this, free speech that, and then say, oh, well, it hurts my feelings, it's disrespectful to our soldiers, so it should be illegal. Okay, yeah, it's disrespectful to our soldiers, I agree. But we're not obligated, like, that's legal to do. You're legally allowed to disrespect soldiers. As fucked up as it is, you're allowed to do that. You're not obligated to show respect to anybody, no matter who they are. So, and I hate when people use soldiers as a scapegoat, because I have so much family in the military that do not support this at all. So stop using soldiers that are, deceased as a reason why it should be illegal, because that doesn't make sense. They're not here to speak for themselves. Let's talk to people there's so many people in the military that are completely against this, that think that if you ban burning the American flag, you're basically like taking away people's freedom. People have the right to do it, whether we like it or not. And it's funny because I saw Matt Walsh saying, oh, this should never been illegal. This should never have been legal. And then if you scroll like 4 years ago, he's saying the exact opposite. So it's funny seeing so many conservatives switch up now. Now all of a sudden conservatives are the ones that want censorship. Now all of a sudden conservatives aren't the ones that want free speech. Not all conservatives, but some of them. I have seen a lot of conservatives also speaking out against this and saying that it shouldn't be illegal. And those are the ones that, like, at least they're consistent, And that, I think the point is, look, free speech, what real free speech is? You have to take something that pisses you off the most, whether it's calling a kid the N-word, whether it's denying the Holocaust, whether it's burning the American flag. You have to take the thing that pisses you off the most and defend the right to say it. If you can't do that, you can't say that you believe in free speech. You can't pick and choose what free speech you want to believe in. And I've seen a lot of other conservatives that were saying, oh, well, you get a hate crime. It's a hate crime if you burn a pride flag. No, it's not. In the case that they're talking about, it's completely different if you buy a flag and you burn it to protest versus stealing somebody else's flag and then burning it. That's completely different. So those kids that got arrested for that, it was not their flag to begin with, okay? They stole somebody else's flag and then burned it. That's completely different than burning your own flag that you bought and paid for. So that's a huge misunderstanding. So y'all need to stop using that, okay? And it just makes me like, because here's the problem. People read headlines and then they don't do any more research. People read, oh, this guy was arrested for burning the pride flag. Oh, well, why can't we burn the pride flag? But why can't we burn? Why are we not allowed to burn the pride flag? Motherfucker, it was not their flag. They stole it. Like, y'all need to do research instead of just seeing the first damn thing in headlines and running with it. And it makes me so annoyed because it's like, dude, like, do your research. And this is why I say, like, both sides, a lot of times, they act the same way, just for different causes. Like, there are conservatives that will love to censor people if it benefits them. There's leftists that will censor people if it benefits them. So this is why I always say I don't pick sides, because I see both of them when it comes to something that they care about, they will end up acting the exact same way. And I'm just shaking my head, and I'm like, where are the real free speech absolutists? Because some conservatives, especially the ones on Twitter, they call themselves free speech absolutists, but it's only when they want to say the N-word. You know what I mean? Without repercussions. So it's like, are you really a free speech absolutist, or do you just want to be racist with no consequence? And look, you have a right to say any type of word you want, whether it's N-words, K-word, C-word, whatever. But then you can't cry about people burning the American flag. If it's their flag and they paid for it, they have every right to do it. You know, like I said, I don't like it. But as someone that believes in free speech, and that's, I think, the most important right in our country, we cannot go down this rabbit hole. So I think somebody was arrested, but that's because he was burning it on property. I'm curious to see where this goes. I don't think it's going to hold up, honestly, guys, for it, because all somebody has to do is file a lawsuit, and, you know. But yeah, I don't think that this is, like, this isn't what we need to be doing.